Da, 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 da. I'm on my way to my local park. Just took me about 1 minute to get there. Oh dear. I always feel a bit conscious talking to myself, so to speak, walking down the road. So, just a few more seconds and I'll be in the park. Now here we are. I hope this is recording all right. Oh dear God. Yes. Let's see now. Okay. Now, what did I want to say? Oh yes, about a month ago, I got an email or a message from, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I got a message from a YouTube channel, not an Irish channel. I think it was, hold on. We have a lot of squirrels in this park, hundreds, thousands of them maybe. Anyhow, I got a message. There's another squirrel. I have to have with those. Anyhow, I got a message from a YouTuber, probably in Norway, maybe it was Denmark, somewhere like that. And they invited me to go onto their YouTube channel to explain the situation in Ireland to their viewers. Now I have to say, my first reaction was surprise, and immediately following that I felt a bit flattered, I suppose. You know, obviously they must have thought my channel was reasonably interesting if they wanted me to go onto theirs. But so to make a long story short, I went over to their channel and I had a look. I was only there for about 1 minute, and it was obvious straight away that, well, it was a YouTube channel like all the others. Now, a few weeks after this, somebody left a comment on one of my videos, and I think they suggested, or they said it would be a good idea if I was to have a conversation with Dave Cullen. He used to have a YouTube channel called Computing Forever. He's on BitChute and various other channels now. Anyhow, looking at the comments that I've received on my videos, it's obvious that quite a few people, they sort of think of me, let's say, as an amateur version of Computing Forever. Well, let's see now. Yes, a very amateur level Gran Turino, or there used to be a channel, I think it was called Oral Led or something like that. Anyhow, I get the impression from looking at comments that a lot of people basically think of me as being similar, let's say, to all the other YouTubers out there. They, as I say, I'm an amateur, crude amateur version of all these YouTube channels. But the truth of the matter is, you know, if I'd gone on to that European YouTube channel, they wouldn't have liked what I was going to say. And if I was to sit down in conversation with Dave Cullen, Gran Turino, and all of those people, they wouldn't like what I have to say either. And I suppose I can explain my politics this way. I believe in Western civilization. I believe in the nation state. I believe in strong, very strong borders. However, I'm not a nationalist. I don't have any affinity with nationalism. Well, when I say nationalism, I'm really talking about Irish nationalism. Now, I've never been a fan of Irish nationalism, and from the time I was a child, I grew up in a broadly nationalist home. I went to a school where the teachers were more or less nationalists, and just about everyone I met or knew was, to a greater or lesser degree, a nationalist. And so I didn't come under the influence of somebody who, let's say, took me away from nationalism. It was just a point of view that I arrived at myself. And now I'm speaking in very, very broad terms, and there are, of course, exceptions to every rule. But broadly speaking, I would have pretty much nothing in common with Irish nationalists. And I think on balance Irish nationalism has been a disaster for Ireland. Truly a disaster. But, you know, when I go to make these videos, I know what I want to say, but as soon as I start recording, I start forgetting everything. So, bear with me. Yeah, no, I've never felt any kinship with Irish nationalists, and I've never known any. I mean, most people I've met have been, to one degree or another, nationalists. But I never had any friends who were nationalists. I wouldn't have any interest in hanging around with nationalist people, let's say. I would have nothing in common with them. Now, I don't believe, for instance, let's say, I don't believe the LGBT movement cares one iota about gay rights. I don't believe the feminist movement cares one iota about women. And certainly the anti-racist movement doesn't give a damn about actual racism, because they're all racists. So, and people very often equate nationalism, Irish nationalism, with patriotism, but I don't. I don't consider Irish nationalists to be patriotic, and the reason I don't is because of the overwhelming evidence. You know, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Ireland they're very nationalist, and they think of themselves as patriots, but blaming Britain for all your troubles doesn't do Ireland any good. It's a lose-lose situation. There's no benefit in it. But I'm rambling on again, and my head is... I've forgotten everything that I wanted to say, but it's a nice day here. It's a very, very pleasant day. But yes, the nationalism. Yeah, if I went... I was talking about YouTubers, Irish YouTubers. I mean, I would have nothing in common with most Irish YouTubers, and English YouTubers for that matter. And even the very professional YouTubers, trigonometry. And then you've got, what you're saying is it Peter Whittle? I don't know if it's Peter Whittle. But, and then you've got trigonometry, yes, I mentioned that. All of these anti-woke channels who, I would consider all of these channels as essentially to be entertainment channels. They all manage to make very good quality videos. They all have large followings, but at a fundamental level, they say nothing, or nothing of value. And, most Irish YouTubers, anti-woke ones, they send out a clear message. And the message is that the left are stupid. The right are really smart. We understand this, that and the other, but the left don't understand anything. And I would reject that idea totally. I think, to put it plainly, I think the left are extremely intelligent. The people behind this woke movement, the agitators, I believe they're very intelligent, and they're pursuing a very intelligent political strategy. On the other hand, anti-woke people, who in Ireland certainly usually identify as nationalist or conservative, my message is that nationalists and conservatives are politically moronic. They haven't got a clue how to fight this battle. And when it comes to YouTubers, most of these people are just in the entertainment business. Now, I have just short of 700 subscribers, and if I want to be popular and increase my subscriber numbers, all I have to do is play the nationalist card. Say something nice about the Nationalist Party, and that's good for 100 more subscribers. Throw in, as I say, play the race card. Throw in a bit of anti-Britishness, a few references to the heroes of old, etc., etc. And I could have a lot more subscribers. But that's not what I'm concerned with. And I'm sure I'll lose quite a few subscribers over what I'm saying now. But yes, I I was flattered when this YouTube channel got in touch with me. Only for a few seconds really, but I felt flattered. But then when I went over, it was obvious it was just another YouTube channel. They would have expected me to say certain things, and I would have ended up saying the exact opposite. And as I say, if I was to sit down in conversation with most Irish YouTubers, we wouldn't get along. Most are nationalists, Irish nationalists. And well, we would have very little in common. But oh God, I'm waffling on badly. My head really has gone blank. But yes, oh yes. There's no diplomatic way of putting this, but I don't really like Irish nationalists. People who identify as Irish nationalists. I don't think of them as patriots. The exact opposite of anything. But oh, my head really has gone blank. But it's a nice park, this. But yes, yeah, it would be a waste of time for me to, let's say, contact nationalist YouTubers or conservative YouTubers with a view to having a debate and putting it up on my channel. It would be a very short debate and well, but what was I going to say now? Oh yes, now there is one man now who I actually would like to debate, and that's John Waters. Now, in my opinion, John Waters is, for those of you who aren't Irish, John Waters is an ex-journalist, and he's the most outspoken voice and the most intelligent voice, I think, when it comes to speaking out about this woke thing. But and I have a great regard for John Waters. That's why I've got one of his videos up on my channel. And so I have a great regard for him. But I would disagree with him on one issue, and that is the national question. Now, John Waters, as I understand it, he doesn't think of himself as a nationalist, or rather, if he is a nationalist, it's a lowercase nationalist. But he's a very interesting man, a very intelligent man, and yeah, it would be interesting to discuss things with him. But and I did in the past. I thought on several occasions of contacting this or that YouTuber, with a view to exchanging ideas. But there really would be no point. If you question Irish nationalism, and this is interesting, and it's also telling, if you question Irish nationalism, the only reply you will get is an insult. And in this regard, Irish nationalism is very similar to the woke thing. If you challenge woke people, if you quote facts at them, they don't like those facts, and they will either ignore you or insult you. And if you challenge Irish nationalism, you get the exact same result, the insult. And as I was saying, if I wanted to grow my channel, if I wanted to be popular, it's very easy. All I have to do is, I know exactly what to say to make this channel quite popular. I know exactly what people want to hear. But, and people, my mother used to say that if you tell the truth and do the right thing, you will never be popular. And she was right. This is a nice park. But now when I get home, I'll look at this and I'll think, good God, this is a really crap video. I watch myself repeating myself, the long pauses, not knowing what to say next. And then I'll just post it. So, and it's not because I am particularly virtuous and want to, well, it's simply a matter of I'm very lazy. I'm just too bloody lazy to go home and maybe edit all of that bits out. But yes, John Mortis. John Mortis is a very interesting man, and he is, I think, now I'm generalising here, but I think broadly speaking he's the only genuine intellectual we have on the side of, let's say, democracy in Ireland. We don't have intellectuals on the right or the nationalist side or the conservative side. And if you look at what's happening with multiculturalism, this whole woke dictatorship, you know, the left have a very, very, very intense and rich intellectual debate going on. And it's been going on as long as I've been alive and very visible. Now, there's nothing like that on, let's just say, the right. I'll speak in terms of the left and the right, just for convenience sake. But, you know, John Mortis, I intend to make a video about a video John Mortis made, a speech he gave. But, you know, John Mortis, he said some very interesting things and insightful things and intelligent things. But people just listen, say, and then they say, oh, that's great, John, you're a great man. And there's no critique. There's no intellectual debate. And so the things he's saying, in a sense, they're just wasted. You know, and the greatest insult, in a way, that you could pay to John Mortis is to clap him on the back and say, oh, you're a great fellow, that was a great speech. You know, with somebody like John Mortis, you know, if you value what he's saying, then you'll argue about it, you'll tease it out. You'll say, well, I disagree with this bit, and I think maybe you're wrong about that. But it's, you know, you're not doing John Mortis any favours just by saying, oh, John's right about that, and that's the end of the conversation. And we really don't have any intellectuals. There's no intellectual debate. There's no teasing out of ideas or refining ideas, creating strategies. There's simply nothing like that. And in large part, I blame that, to some extent, on Irish nationalism and nationalism generally. You know, if you try to, it's, in Ireland anyhow, it's pretty much impossible to have an intelligent debate when it comes to nationalism or anything like that, because people don't like being contradicted, and they particularly don't like when you hit them with facts. And Irish nationalism, and when I speak of Irish nationalism, I mean the reality of Irish nationalism, how it expresses itself, how I've witnessed it for most of my life. And now the Irish nationalist narrative is very simple. The British are to blame for everything bad, and up the rebels, and aren't we a grand nation, and etc., etc. All of which, of course, gets nobody anywhere. I'm walking around in circles here. How long have I been doing this now? 26 minutes. Almost a half an hour of pure waffle. Well, it's not pure waffle, but let's say very, very badly expressed opinions. Now, I'm always hoping, if I do take my camera out on the street to record, I'm always hoping that something dramatic will happen, such as a terrorist attack, but nothing ever does. So I think I'll finish it up there. And as soon as I finish this up, I'll go home, I'll have a cup of coffee, and then I'll remember all the things I should have said and didn't say. But there you are. So from Ringsend Park in Ringsend in Dublin, Ireland. Take care.